Alright, so good day, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Di ko alam what time you'll be watching this, but hopefully it's not good night. And I appreciate you taking time to listen to this because it's my wish for you to learn, to gain more, or to, get your grades a bit higher, sana. And hopefully this will be helpful. So this is QRS, the quick review sessions. So for the 30-minute to 1 hour session, I will be doing a rationale on the drugs acting on the cardiovascular system. So this will just be 20 items. So hopefully this will be just quicker than what I expect. Okay? So these are the scope. This is based on your syllabus naman. So from the antihypertensive drugs, cardiotonic, and then so on. Okay, so without further ado, let's start. Nawala yung question. Ayan. So number 1, the nurse is preparing to administer metoprolol to a client with atrial fibrillation and a heart rate of 137 BPM and palpitations. The nurse notes that the client's heart rate is now 52 beats per minute on the bedside monitor, and the BP is 124/88 millimeters of mercury. Which nursing intervention is appropriate? Right, tama. So the correct answer is letter B. So we have to notify the healthcare provider and question the order. Sige nga, ano nga po ulit yung metoprolol? No? Ang metoprolol po is a beta blocker. So another example of that, we have your carvedilol, atenolol, yan, yung mga yan. Okay? So this lowers the heart rate and BP. Paano po nila ginagawa yon? By blocking the sympathetic stimulation of the CVS or the cardiovascular system. And we know that these beta blockers should not be administered, lagyan natin, do not administer if the heart rate is less than 60 beats per minute. No? Do not administer if the heart rate is less than 60 beats per minute. Okay, laging tatandaan yan. Okay, bakit po? Kapag binigay natin yan na less than 60 beats per minute yung heart rate ng pasyente, this can precipitate life-threatening. Anong tawag kapag mababa? Mababa yung heart rate? Bradycardia. Okay, so from 52, pwedeng umabot pa what? 38, basta lower. So we would be needing a medication pa para iangat yung kanyang heart rate. We do not want that. Okay, so the client's abrupt change in heart rate from tachycardic to bradycardic, it could indicate that the client may have converted out dun sa kanyang condition or being experienced na atrial fibrillation. So, meaning niya na nanggaling siya sa 137, biglang naging 52, pwedeng nag-iba yung rhythm. Take note, rhythm ng kanyang puso. Pwedeng naging normal or kung ano mang other abnormality pwede din. That is why we need to notify the healthcare provider and question the order. So, immediately yan, no? Kasi yung beta blocker not safe to administer. Okay, ma'am, not safe. So, i-check po yung vital signs in 30 minutes. Okay? Rechecking is okay. Pero, THCP still needs to be notified first, no? And ito din, you can mark the medication as held in the MAR or the medication administration record, pero again, our priority is prompt notification to the HCP for timely evaluation, diagnostic testing, and medication adjustments. Ayan, lagyan natin prompt notification yung kailangan. Okay? For C, administer the metoprolol. So, yun yung hindi natin desired, no? Yun yung hindi tama. Okay? Ano po ba example na itsura ng metoprolol na yan? For visual learners, tignan natin yung picture. Ayan, ito siya. Ayan, ano nangyari. Okay, that's the metoprolol. Ayan. Okay, baka may mga relative po kayong nagtitake niyan. So, kailangan, ang tatandaan natin sa metoprolol before administration, manually count the heart rate. Okay? And another, we need to remember, for your beta blockers, sila po yung may suffix na olol. Yan nga po. So, carvedilol, metoprolol, atenolol, yan, mga yan. And, for beta blockers, it could cause a side effect sa lungs. Mangyari po isa broncho constriction. So, this could be due to a blockage of the beta-2 receptors. Okay, so remember, no, di ba may alpha 1, alpha 2, beta 1, beta 2. Beta 2 meaning dalawa. Beta 2, dalawa yung lungs. Tama ba? Yung kaliwa and then yung kanan. So, ganun po yung ibig nating sabihin. So, definitely, since it could cause bronchoconstriction, no, avoid. Saan? Lagyan natin X for asthma. Lagay pa, X for COPD or the chronic obstructive pulmonary diseases. Okay? Kasi sa asthma, ano bang nangyayari? Nagko-constrict ng airways. So, bibigyan mo pa ng beta blocker dahil lalong magko-constrict. Okay? Sige. So, next tayo, number 2. The nurse identifies which medication as an angiotensin-converting enzyme inhibitor based on its generic suffix. Okay, alin daw dyan ang ACE inhibitor? So, definitely mali yung B. Alam natin that is a beta blocker. We just discussed it kanina lang, no? So, ano po dyan? Tandaan natin sa ACE. Yan po yung mga pril. Okay? Yung mga pril. So, ACE inhibitors. Again, ACE inhibitors. What are these? Again, these are your angiotensin-converting enzyme. Example natin yung mga pril. So, we have lisinopril, tama ba? Benazapil, benazapril, I mean. And you also have enalapril, ramipril, ito, captopril, yan. No? So, anong ginagawa nito? Since nasa antihypertensives tayo, so definitely it lowers your BP. Okay? How? Ang tanong, how? ACE inhibitors, if you can recall your renin, angiotensin, aldosterone system, or your RAAS, no, para ma-achieve yung increase in BP, which was detected by your RAAS nga, no, ini-inhibit ngayon si ACE. Teka, medyo magulo ka unti. Tandaan natin si RAAS, yan ay triggered by low BP. So, ang goal ng RAAS is to increase BP. How? With the use of angiotensin-converting enzymes, your angiotensin 1 and 2, no, yung pathway na yun. So, kung wala yung angiotensin-converting enzyme, if it is inhibited, hindi tataas yung BP. So, yun po yung ginagawa ng ACE inhibitors. Okay? Inhibit meaning stop. Okay? So, lisinopril yan. Ito, amlodipine. Teka, lagay lang muna natin before I continue with the ACE inhibitors. Amlodipine, dipines, those are your calcium channel blockers. And then, losartan, yung mga sartan na yan, these are your ARBs, or the angiotensin 2 receptor blockers. Okay? Yan. So, for the memory aid, dito sa inyong mga antihypertensive, I'll attach this one, but credits po, no, hindi ito sa akin. Okay? So, give the due credit. This is from the bootcamp review. Okay? So, with antihypertensive, it is written here that we have to remember 3 things. Hypotension. So, you have to check the BP before giving or hold the medication and notify the healthcare provider for SBP or systolic blood pressure less than 90. Then, orthostatic hypotension. So, we have to teach the clients to change positions slowly. Ito yung kapag sila ay babangon, dahan-dahan lang, no? Or mas specific, pag babangon sila, upo muna. They should dangle their legs for a minute until parang wala silang nararamdamang hilo. And then, saka sila tumayo. Then, pag tayo, pakiramdaman, saka sila maglakad. Hindi siya dire-diretso, no? So, orthostatic hypotension. Then, also, rebound hypertension. So, they should not abruptly stop. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Huwag bigla-biglang Monday uminom ng amlodipine, Tuesday uminom ng amlodipine, Wednesday uminom ng amlodipine, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, hindi inom ng amlodipine. No? Abruptly stopping. Because it could lead to rebound hypertension. So, kung isa-isahin natin with the beta blockers, again, we discussed it kanina, bradycardia. So, hold if the heart rate is less than 60 and bronchoconstriction, kaya bawal sa may asthma and COPD. Okay? Bawal. Okay? Next, ACE inhibitors, yung mga pril. So, anong pwedeng mangyari? Angioedema. Pag ARBs naman, then as well, no? Visual swelling, stinging, itching, and then pwede din yung side effect nila na dry cough. And then calcium channel blockers, amlodipine, yung mga dipin. Okay? drug toxicity. So, do not take it with grapefruit juice. Okay, medyo pahapyaw na to kaagad na. So, yung mga susunod na numbers, mas madali nyong masasagutan. Okay, hopefully. Okay, tingnan natin. Number 3. The nurse is caring for a client with hypertension who is taking lisinopril. O again, what is lisinopril? That is an ACE inhibitor. Alam na natin yun. So, which of the following signs and symptoms are most concerning? Okay, so if you annotate your exams, that's better din. Bilug-bilugan nyo po kung allowed. Okay, I'll just ask the proctor. And so you'd be more notified kung ano yung kailangan yung hanapin sa questions and sa answers, I mean. So again, which of the following signs and symptoms are most concerning? Okay, very good. The answer is letter D. Itchy lips and tongue. Andito na sa taas, oh. Andiyan na sa taas. Okay, so ito pong mga yan, it may be the first symptoms of what we call your angioedema. Edema, alam natin ang edema ay swelling, no? Pamamaga. Okay, but this swelling can be seen saan? Sa face, sa lips, no? Mga ganyan. And if angioedema occurs, it can progress to airway obstruction. Alam natin, no, ang priority natin kadalasan, airway. So, mahirap na yan. No? Pag nagkaroon ng airway obstruction, hindi makakahinga si patient, pwedeng mag-lead to respiratory failure if not promptly treated. So, bakit po ba nangyayari ang angioedema? How? How na naman, no? It occurs due to the inhibition of the breakdown of bradykinin. Yan. Yung bradykinin, it's a vasodilator. Kung hindi mabe-breakdown si the bradykinin, magva-vasodilate lang. No? Kaya namamaga, nas yan. So, pag nag-increase yung level, again, levels of bradykinin, it will trigger an immune response. And, syempre, and inflammatory response. So, it causes, again, angioedema, swelling of the face, lips, tongue, and the throat. Kaya nga, pwedeng maging airway obstruction, respiratory failure. So, persistent dry cough, it's not the most concerning. Again, it's a common side effect because ACE inhibitors decrease the breakdown of bradykinin nga, no, which could also stimulate stimulation of the cough reflex. Yan. So, yung cough na yan, it could be bothersome to the client, bothersome enough to discontinue the medication. Pero hindi siya considered as life-threatening in the absence of other respiratory findings tulad ng hypoxia, stridor. So, kung ang sinabi dito ay dry cough na mayroong hypoxia, oxygen niya nasa beta number 76, kunyari, ano pa, stridor, adventitious breath sounds, no? So, magwo-worry tayo. Okay? Magwo-worry tayo. Okay, most concerning. Okay, ang hinahanap kasi ng tanong. BP of 140/90. So, lowering the blood pressure is intended action of ACE inhibitors. Antihypertensive nga, no? Okay, so, pwedeng baka nagre-rebound siya. But it is not the most concerning. Okay? Feeling lightheaded upon standing quickly. This is pertaining to your, again, orthostatic hypotension. Okay? We've already discussed that. Yan, orthostatic hypotension. Okay, para medyo mas tumatak sa inyo, again, pakita natin yung pictures ng angioedema. Angioedema. Ayan, ganyan, no? So, swelling of the lips. Ito pa, swelling of the face. Okay? Swelling of the lips, swelling of the face is inhibitor. Si April na maga ang muka. Si April na maga ang muka. Okay, angioedema. Si cough, dry cough in this case. And, meron isa pa may dagdag dito. Merong nag-elevate, no, yung kanyang elevated potassium. Okay, pag elevated potassium, ano nga ulit yung term natin? Hyperkalemia. Okay? Hyperkalemia. Okay? So, kung meron siyang chance na mag-increase yung kanyang potassium levels in the blood. So, dapat avoid potassium supplementation and salt substitutes. Kasi yung salt substitutes po, it contains potassium. Okay? May isa pa tayong tatandaan. Si April, Si Aspril, kung sino man si Aspril na namamaga ang mukha, ay bawal buntis. Bawal buntis? Ibig sabihin nun, teratogenic po ang ACE inhibitors. No? So, generally, we should avoid all RAAS medications in pregnancy. Okay? Sige, next na tayo. Next, number 4. The nurse understands that calcium channel blockers such as nifedipine work by producing which physiological effect? Correct answer is letter C. So, ano daw ginagawa ng calcium channel blockers? It relaxes blood vessel muscles. How? So, by blocking yung mga calcium entry sa ating cells, or particularly the smooth muscle cells, it leads to vasodilation. Into. Okay, leads to vasodilation. So, pag nag-vasodilate, we know vasodilation leads to lower BP. Okay? So, increasing the heart rate, no. Your calcium channel blockers decreases or maintains the heart rate, not increase. Pababa, no? Pababa. Calcium channel blockers. Okay? So, pag hindi nakadaan si calcium sa muscle cells, magvavasodilate. Pag nakadaan si calcium, magvavasoconstrict. Ganun. Okay? So, next, by blocking sodium channels. Ano na to? May nadamay na sodium. So, blocking sodium channels is a mode of action. MOA yan. Mode of action ng certain arrhythmic drugs. Anti-arrhythmic. Ano ang spelling ng arrhythmic? Ayan, binigay sa akin. Arrhythmic drugs. So, not for CCB yan. And then, last, yung letter D, increasing water retention. Yung vasodilation, lagay natin, no? Vasodilation, it leads to peripheral edema sa lower extremity, no? Pero yung primary action is not to increase retention. Okay, again, primary action is not to increase retention. Hindi tulad ng mga steroids, no? Yung mga ganon. Okay? So, ano pang papatanda ko sa inyo? Lagay natin sa memory aid for CCBs, mga amlodipine. CCBs, amlodipine. Ano ba yan? Avoid. Nakasulat kanina. Avoid suha. Sige. Avoid consuming grapefruit juice. Bakit? No? Bakit bawal? Because it could increase the drug levels, and pag sumobra-sobra yung drug levels, it could increase the risk for, highlight natin, toxicity. Okay? Again, CCB, bawal sa grapefruit. Ayan o, do not eat grapefruit yan, okay? Sige. Next. Sana hindi pa po kayo natutulog. I don't think that my voice is nakakaantok, no? Alright. So, next is number 5. We have this. The nurse prepares to administer digoxin to a client with heart failure. Which vital sign is essential to assess immediately before administration? Oh, this is an easy question. The correct answer is letter B, the apical pulse. Okay? Because digoxin slows the heart rate. Okay, so si nurse must count the apical pulse for 1 full minute. No? Practice naman na natin yan. And hold the drug if it is below 60 beats per minute. Ganon din. Hold if below 60 BPM. Kasi ano po bang normal? Ito, 60 to 100. So, kung below normal siya, do not give the medication. Notify the HCP, the doctor. Okay? So, respiratory rate, while important, digoxin does not depress the respiration di tulad ng mga opioids, no? Mga morphine, ganyan. So, temperature naman, wala naman yung antipyretic effect. Hindi naman yan nagkakos ng fever. And for pain level, hindi naman po analgesic ang digoxin. Hindi yan given for pain relief. ano po ba yung digoxin? No? Ano po ba yun? What is digoxin? Or in, brand name, Digitalis. Ano po ba yan? So, it is both a positive inotropic, emphasize ko na agad inotropic, and negative chronotropic drug. Meaning, it strengthens the heart muscle contraction, yun po yung positive inotropic effect, and slows the heart rate, which is the negative chronotropic effect. So, ito yung negative chrono, yung strengthened contraction, yun yung positive ino. Okay? So, yung dual action nitong digoxin, it improves the heart function, particularly in patients with heart failure or atrial fibrillation by increasing the cardiac output. So, imagine, if mas mabagal pero mas strong, mas madami yung may bibigay na cardiac output. Mas maraming lalabas sa puso. Dug-dugs, 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 no? And controlled din yung heart rate. Okay? So, for memory aid, how will we remember itong mga inotropic, chronotropic na yan? Again, ini-emphasize ko na. Inotropic, increase output. Increase output. So, how strong the heart squeezes. For chronotropic, chrono, di ba may mga relo na ganun? Chrono, pakita natin. May mga relo. Asan yung relo ko? Ayan. Chrono, time. Kasi nga, chronological. Okay? Di ba? Chronological. So, how fast the heart beats. Okay? Okay, sige. So, yung mga beta blockers, kaninang binanggit natin, which are again, ano po example? Metoprolol, atenolol, those olols, these are negative chrono and ino. Pag negative chrono, negative ino, negative chrono, bagal ng heart rate, negative chrono, negative ino din. So, pati yung heart contraction is also slowed. Okay? Kapag naman epinephrine, it's positive chrono and ino. So, epi excites everything. Yan. So, positive chrono, strengthen yung heart contraction, tapos ang bilis pa ng tibok. No, ganun natin siya titignan. Okay? Sige, moving on. Number 6. Which finding does the nurse recognize as an early indication of digoxin toxicity? So, we're talking about digitalis toxicity this time. What is your answer? The correct answer is visual halos. Okay, visual halos. So, visual disturbances. Okay? Ano pong kulay yung nakikita nila? Yellow, green, halos. Around lights. Or, it could also be accompanied by blurred visions. So, classic yan, no? Classic signs of digitalis or digoxin toxicity. Anong kulay? Digoxin, yellow, green. Anong kulay? Digoxin, yellow, green. Anong kulay? Digoxin, yellow, green. Okay? Sige. Alright. So, increased appetite, hindi po, no? So, anorexia pa ngayon nangyayari. Usually, loss of appetite kasi pwede silang magkaroon ng nausea and vomiting. Those GI signs of toxicity. Hypertension, no. Rather than hypertension, ang pwedeng mangyari is arrhythmia. Ito na naman ako sa spelling ng arrhythmia. Ayan. Rather than HDN na nga lang. HDN. Okay. Weight gain, no. No? Weight gain is a sign of worsening heart failure, not drug toxicity. So, paano natin matatandaan? We give memory aids again and again. Ito po yan for your digoxin or digitalis toxicity. Let's enlarge the image. So, again, signs of toxicity are bradycardia, nausea and vomiting, and visual changes. Anong kulay? Lagay natin to. Anong kulay? Yan. Yellow, green. Yellow, green. Kasi yellow and green yung cover. No? Pwede. Alright. Sige, next tayo. Number 7. The nurse understands that beta blockers such as propranolol are effective for arrhythmias because they produce which effect? Good. Letter A. So, it decreases sympathetic stimulation. So, what do? They block the fight or flight. No, sympathetic nga, yes. Lagyan natin. Fight or flight effects of adrenaline o yung ating epinephrine on the heart. Sa heart. Heart. Okay? So, anong ginagawa? It slows the heart rate and stabilizes the rhythm. Okay? Slows the heart rate and stabilizes the rhythm. So, B is incorrect. It does not increase cardiac contractility kasi sabi nga kanina, beta blockers are negative ino and negative chrono. Negative ino. Okay? So, they decrease contractility. They decrease contractility. Okay? Next, increase conduction velocity. No, they actually slows conduction through the AV node. Okay? Natatandaan pa po ba? Again, credits po, hindi po sa akin ito. These are from bootcamp. A review, ano ba? Reviewer for nursing. Okay? So, this is the cardiac conduction cycle. Again, it starts from the SA node, then AV node, tries to slow down until mag-fill up lahat, no, sa ating ventricle, then bundle branches, and then Purkinje fibers. So, as follows, atrial depolarization, ventricular depolarization, then repolarization. So, anong ginagawa ng beta blockers? They slow conduction through the AV node. Okay? So, hindi increase. Next is dilate the bronchial tubes. Hindi. We have already discussed this one. A side effect of beta blockers, kaya bawal sa asthma, bawal sa COPD-I, it could cause bronchoconstriction, not dilation. Constrict, not dilate. Okay? Constrict and not dilate. Okay? So, I'll just attach here na rin, quickly, yung Von Williams classification system of these antiarrhythmics. So we have sodium channel blockers, which controls the rhythm. We have beta blockers, which controls the rate. Potassium channel blockers, rhythm then, and then calcium channel blockers for the rate as well. Okay, may example dyan. Okay, I will not be able to cover as in everything, no, kasi this is supposed to be a review. So you read your notes, then we try to apply ngayon using questions and rationalization. Okay, understood? Okay, next. A client is prescribed amiodarone for the management of atrial fibrillation. The nurse anticipates monitoring for which potential adverse reaction. Okay, we're looking for the potential adverse reaction. Okay, the correct answer is pulmonary toxicity. So, for amiodarone, the potential adverse reaction is pulmonary toxicity. Okay? Ayan. So, it can cause serious lung damage, mga pulmonary fibrosis, pneumonitis. So, the respiratory status should be monitored. Okay? Paano yung monitor? We obtain CXR. What is CXR? Chest X-ray. We also report any signs of dyspnea, cough, no? Related sa lungs. Okay, for amiodarone, renal failure, hindi naman, no? Primarily, ang nagiging effect ng inyong amiodarone, sulat ko dito, amio primarily affects your thyroid, liver, and lungs. Okay? Thyroid, liver, and lungs. So, renal failure, no. Hyperglycemia, no as well. Ang hyperglycemia, mas makakorelate natin yan in the simple recall is corticosteroids, no? Corticosteroids, sugar. Alam natin yan. Next, hearing loss. Sa hearing loss, hindi naman. Mas makakorelate natin yan sa antibiotic o kaya sa loop diuretics. Di ba natatandaan yung mice, amino, glycosides. And again, loop diuretics. So, ang concern for amiodarone is pulmonary toxicity. Okay, let's proceed with the next one. The nurse instructs a client on the proper use of sublingual nitroglycerin tablets. Which location is the correct site for administration? O sige, ang magkamali dito, pakichat po ako. Usap tayo. Okay? Kasi this is a fundamentals of nursing review. Right? Sorry, any question? So the correct answer is under the tongue. Because we're asking for sublingual. Okay, so it's given under the tongue. Bakit? Paano? No? Kasi it provides, enables actually, rapid absorption into the bloodstream. How? Again, tanungin natin yung how. Baka tanungin kayo, anong nababypass niya? It bypasses the liver. Diba we know that medications, pag ininom natin yan, dadaan yan sa liver muna. Now, it gets metabolized there sa ating liver. Yun yung tinatawag nating first pass effect. Okay? So, itong sublingual administration, it bypasses this first pass effect. Okay? Kapag na-bypass yan, no, magiging mas available yung gamot. Kaya again, sulat ko para mas ma-gets po ng iba. First pass, nating lahat first pass effect, this significant hepatic metabolism of orally administered administered drugs before reaching the systemic circulation. So, anong result nun? Result, lower bioavailability. Ibig sabihin, hindi masyadong magkakaroon ng effect si drug. So, kung na-bypass ito, mas may effect yung drug. Okay? Make simple na pag nasulat. Sige. So, inside the cheek, that is wrong. That is the buccal route, and then on top of the tongue, incorrect. Sublingual nga. Then, swallowed whole. Pag yan ay nilunok mo, ano mangyayari? First pass effect. Ayan. Okay? So, it will be ineffective. Para saan po ba ang nitroglycerin? Yan, TG or nitroglycerin is for acute angina or chest pain. Imagine, nag-chest pain na, if first pass effect mo pa, di sana, no, mukha ka na ng death certificate, sinulatan mo na lang agad, no? Okay. Hindi tayo dapat ganon. Okay. So, before giving, in giving, again, nitroglycerin, it should be given via the sublingual route. Okay? Meron na yata akong picture dito for that, for you to be more familiar. Lagay ko sa kalagay. Yan. Diba? Di ginulo ko. Yan. Okay. Nakalagay naman, sublingual tablets. Okay? So, nitroglycerin dilates your blood vessels. Okay. May next question pa yata ako for that. Ito to. A client reports a headache shortly after taking a dose of nitroglycerin. Sumakit to ulo. How should the nurse interpret this finding? Correct is letter B. It's a common side effect of vasodilation. Yes po, kasi nga, anong ginagawa ng NTG? NTG dilates the blood vessels, no? Even their cerebral vessels. Pati sa heart. Yan. So, it could frequently cause a headache. With letter A, allergic reaction, typically it manifests na pag may na-allergy, hives yan, or itching, or swelling. Yun yung mga magiging effect sa pasyente, signs and symptoms. Kapag naman sinabing indication of imminent stroke, while headaches can occur in strokes, headache after nitroglycerin is usually expected naman. No? Okay. Then next, a sign that the medication expired. Pag expired po, ang NTG, usually, lost na yung kanyang potency. So, hindi mo ma-experience yung headache. Wala yung kanyang vasodilation. So, hindi yan yung tamang sagot. Okay? So, ano pang pwedeng ma-experience ng pasyente na signs and symptoms? Those that are expected are the H's. Headache, hypotension for orthostatic, and then hot flushing on the face. Next, the nurse is administering rosuvastatin to a client with a diagnosis of coronary artery disease. Which of the following findings would cause the nurse to question administration? Okay, the correct answer is letter B. The client reports muscle pain. Okay, so yung mga rosuvastatin, atorvastatin, yung mga yan, these are your HMG CoA, tama ba ka ng sulat? Reductase inhibitors. Or the hydroxymethylglutaril CoA reductase inhibitors, yung mga statins. What do? They lower the cholesterol by inhibiting this enzyme. Okay? Required for the liver to produce cholesterol. Sige, paano ko ba isusulat? Inhibiting the HMG CoA reductase enzyme required na kailangan ni liver, no? Required for the liver to produce cholesterol. Ibig sabihin, when a patient takes atorvastatin, hindi po binabawasan yung existing cholesterol, but rather, it inhibits the enzyme that is needed to produce more cholesterol. Okay? Hindi siya pampatunaw. Okay? So, a decrease in the serum cholesterol causes the liver to increase the number of low-density lipoprotein receptors sa mga cells ng liver, hepatocytes, which further lowers cholesterol by removing more LDL from the bloodstream. So, these statins prevent MI or stroke by stabilizing yung mga atherosclerotic plaques natin sa arteries, no? To prevent rupture and thrombosis. You'll learn more of that in your MS. Okay? But in pharmacology, what you need to know is that your rosuvastatin should be questioned if the client reports muscle pain. Continue natin yung ratio. These statins can cause muscle tissue injury. Anong mafe-feel ni client? Muscle pain, weakness, tenderness, yan. And rarely, yung injury na to is severe. And widespread yung breakdown. So, ang magiging tawag doon, baka nabasa po ninyo to, no, somewhere, rhabdomyolysis. So, yung myoglobin released from the injured muscle, mabablock niya po yung renal tubules, the kidneys. So, it causes AKI or acute kidney injuries. So, if the client experiences muscle pain while taking a statin, dapat ma-notify si doctor. Kasi baka yung muscle pain na na-experience niya is about that myoglobin breakdown. Okay? Sige, tingnan natin. Reports flushing, that's adjunct therapy sa mga lipid-lowering medication. That's an effect of an adjunct therapy. Example, your niacin administration. So, hindi siya expected of your rosuvastatin. Blood pressure naman, okay naman to. Wala tayong problema dyan. Why would you question that? Then, total cholesterol of, okay din to kasi bumaba. May reference range ka pa nga. You don't need to memorize. Okay, so, attach ko na lang ulit another picture for atorvastatin or for statins, Your Lipitor. Lipitor, L for liver effects, increased blood sugar, increased hepatic cellular enzymes, pain sa muscles, impaired memory, tiredness and fatigue, others, and rhabdomyolysis. Okay. Next. Again, rhabdomyolysis. Next, we have number 12. The nurse explains to the client that statins generally work best when taken at which time of the day? In the evening. Very good. So, statins, atorvastatin, rosuvastatin are taken in the evening as the liver produces the majority of cholesterol at night. Okay? So, liver produces cholesterol. Majority of it at night. So, kung pipigilan natin yung pag-produce, dapat doon sa oras na siya ay mostly nagpo-produce. So, we're talking about the peak production time. Okay? With breakfast, that is incorrect. So, some long-acting statins can be taken at a time, pero doon pa rin tayo sa best, no? Evening. Okay? At lunchtime, that's the optimal time. Before a workout, no, it's not related, no? Dapat in the evening talaga. Okay? So, anong tanong natin kay statin? Sulat kong Tagalog, anong tanong natin kay statin? Rosuvastatin, resnavastatin. Resnava kasi sa gabi na nagpapahinga. Resnavastatin, or anong tanong natin kay statin? Atorvastatin, antoknavastatin. Pwede. Okay, kasi ito again. Taken at night. Alright? Next. The nurse identifies which medication as the specific antidote for a client with heparin overdose. So now we're talking about drugs affecting blood coagulations. So the nurse identifies which medication as a specific antidote ng heparin. The answer is protamine sulfate. Okay, so protamine sulfate binds with heparin to neutralize yung mga anticoagulant effects nun. Again, protamine sulfate binds with heparin to neutralize its anticoagulant effects. Okay, vitamin K, that's incorrect. That's the antidote for your warfarin. Calcium gluconate, that's incorrect again. That's the antidote for magnesium sulfate or magnesium toxicity. Sige, sulfate na lang. Then, acetylcysteine antidote po yan for your acetaminophen or your Tylenol overdose. Okay? So, what's our memory aid for this? Sulat natin, memory aid. Classic memory mnemonic for this is Harry. For heparin muna. Heparin. Harry Potter. Harry Potter, heparin, protamine, sulfate. So, heparin, ang antidote is si protamine sulfate. Kaya Harry Potter. Madami sila, Harry Potters. Sige, okay. And, for the laboratories ng heparin, di ba yung H, paano ko ba ito drawing to? Itong letter H, yung letter H na yan, yung malaking letter H. Oo, yan. Yan, yung malaking letter H na yan. Lagyan nyo ng P. Tapos lagyan nyo ng linya dito sa taas. Para maging wag mukha siyang P, T, T. Nag-gets nyo ba? Nag-gets nyo ba yung vision? Kasi you need to check for partial thromboplastin type. Yan yung laboratory value that you need to check if you are administering heparin. Okay? And Harry Potter, P, okay for pregnancy. Yan, lumaki na tuloy yung font. Okay? Next, Harry Potter, anong next natin? The warfarin. Sa warfarin naman tayo. Okay? So, sa warfarin, ang palatandaan natin ay Calvin Klein. Yan. Spelling. Yan. C, kasi ang warfarin, tawag Coumadin sa kanyang brand name. Okay, ang kanyang antidote is vitamin K. Okay. So, you have to check for prothrombin time or PT and the INR monitoring. So, W, yan. Alam ko naman na naka 2 times naman kayo manood, no? So, medyo naghahang ako ng ganito. Deadma. Wag sa womb. Oh, di ba? Kasi bawal sa buntis. Okay? Warfarin, wag sa wombs, wag sa buntis. Alright? Then next, a client is receiving warfarin therapy. The nurse reviews which laboratory test to monitor the therapeutic effect of this medication. Ano daw? Correct answer is letter B. Ando na sa taas. Okay? So, PTT, again, yung letter T na dalawa na yun, that's for heparin therapy. Okay? Next, hemoglobin hematocrit. These measures mostly your anemia, blood loss, no, hindi yung clotting time. Okay? WBC naman, we're checking mostly for immune status if there is an infection. Okay? Next, the nurse teaches a client taking warfarin to maintain a consistent intake of which food group to ensure stable drug levels. Pagkain naman. Alright, which food group? Correct. Letter A. Yan. Maintain a consistent intake and stable. Okay? Enough lang. Consistent lang. Hindi naman sinasabing bawal. No? Consistent lang. Kasi bakit? Your green leafy vegetables, these are high in vitamin K, which we know it's the antidote, so it antagonizes your warfarin. So, inconsistent intake could cause the INR to fluctuate dangerously. Sulat natin, inconsistent intake, pwedeng si INR mag-fluctuate, tinagalog ko na, dangerously. Okay? Dairy products, that's incorrect. Dairy affects your calcium, not coagulation. Citrus fruits, this is for iron absorption but does not impact the clotting cascade. Then, red meats, Ano meron dito? These are high in iron, but they do not interact with warfarin's mechanism. Okay, so again, warfarin, vitamin K, green leafy vegetables, vitamin K, vitamin kale. Okay, kasi vitamin K. Vitamin K. Ang arte naman ng kale, sige, vitamin kangkong. Okay? Vitamin kangkong. Okay, next. The client is prescribed clopidogrel. The nurse understands that the primary therapeutic action of this medication is to prevent platelets from clumping together. So, yeah, letter D. Okay, so we know that clopidogrel is an anti-platelet agent. What does it do? It inhibits platelet aggregation. Hindi magsasama-sama, magka-clump together yung platelet. So, kasi pag yan po ay nag-clump, pwedeng maging stroke, mag-lead to stroke, and mag-lead to myocardial infarction or heart attack. So, again, if inhibited ang platelet aggregation, hindi magyayakapan yung mga platelets na yan, nire-reduce yung risk of stroke or MI. Okay? So, solving existing blood clots, that is not the purpose of your clopidogrel or antiplatelet. This is for your thrombolytics. Lytics nga, no? So, dinidissolve. So, these are your TPA, tissue plasminogen activators, which dissolves clots. Increased production of red blood cells. No, these are the action of your EPO, erythropoietin stimulating agents. Natanggal siya. Then, dilate the arteries. No, these are the, kanina, yung nitroglycerin. These are the primary action of your nitrates. Okay? So, for memory aid, anong ginagawa again ni clopidogrel, an antiplatelet agent? When platelets gather together, use Plavix for crowd control. Yan, we can stick together now. Ganyan, diba? Bala. Next, number 17. The nurse is teaching a client who is newly prescribed rivaroxaban. Which of the following information should the nurse include? Rivaroxaban. Again, the nurse is teaching a client who is newly prescribed rivaroxaban, who is newly prescribed with, rivaroxaban. Which of the following information should the nurse include? Letter B. If you need to shave, you should use an electric razor with a guard, or better, clippers. Okay? So your DOACs, or direct oral anticoagulants, such as your rivaroxaban, apixaban, these are given to treat or prevent thromboembolism. Okay? So, when caring for clients na umiinom po nito, our priority is to minimize the risk of bleeding. How? Yun nga po. About shaving, use your electric razor with a guard. Use soft, bristled toothbrushes. Kasi pag yan po ay yung, yung hard pa, no, kaya medium, pwedeng bleed yung kanilang gums. Okay. And then, what else? Use stool softeners to prevent straining. Kasi if they are constipated, no, they would be having a hard time defecating, straining. Then also, avoid activities that could lead to cuts or bruises. Ano po yung mga activities na yan? It includes, of course, contact sports, no? Construction jobs. Yan, mga martilyo, yung mga ganon. And, no, use electric razors when shaving to reduce risk of nicks and cuts. Okay? Sabi po sa letter A, keep your heart healthy by taking aspirin every day. Remember, minimize the risk of bleeding. So we should avoid meds that can cause bleeding, such as aspirin, your NSAIDs. And hindi lang meds, pati yung mga supplement, mga ginkgo biloba, garlic, fish oil, yun, mga yan. And ito sabi, if you miss a dose, you can catch up by doubling. Naku, lalo na. Pag dinoble mo yung dose, increase risk of bleeding na naman tayo. So, ano pong gagawin ni client? Okay? If they remember, no, they should take it as soon as they can remember, unless it's almost time for the next dose, para hindi dumoble. Okay, and then lastly, you will need to have frequent blood draws to monitor your prothrombin time. PT, this is for warfarin. So, mali, no? PT or INR is for warfarin. So, sa DOACs, not usually done. The best na siguro is your routine monitoring for CBC, ensuring lang na adequate. But, yun na yun. Okay? So, for your DOACs, avoid NSAIDs and aspirins. These are your examples. Again, I'll attach a picture. These are your DOACs. Taran! Alright? Number 18. Okay, we're almost done. Okay, tama nga. It's a 1 hour discussion. So, the nurse is providing education to a client who is discharging home with the prescription for subcutaneous enoxaparin. Which of the following client statements indicate that the teaching was effective? Alright. Letter D. I should avoid any bruised areas when choosing an injection site. Okay, let's look at the wrong answers muna. Letter A is wrong kasi sabi dito, I should rub the injection site after injecting the medication. No, if you rub it, it could increase bruising and interfere with the absorption of the medication. Okay, so rather than rubbing, light pressure can be applied to the site. Kailangan nating smile kasi light pressure can be applied. Okay, next, I should pull back on the plunger to make sure I'm not in a blood vessel. So, aspirating or pulling back the plunger is not advised in enoxaparin injections. Why? It could increase risk of tissue damage, bleeding, and bruising. Hirap na. And then next, sabi, it is important to expel the air in the syringe before administration. No po. So, yung enoxaparin po kasi, it typically comes in a pre-filled syringe. Okay? So, there is an air bubble there, present. The air bubble is intentional to ensure that the full dose of the medication is injected upon administration. So, hindi mo dapat tanggalin. Okay? For you to visualize better. Ganito po kasi yung itsura ng enoxaparin. Ganyan. No? May air bubble yan. Dito sa part na to. Okay, here's another picture. Yan. Okay? Teka, na-bother ako. Yan. So, bottom of air bubble levels or with required dosage marking. Ito siya. So, pag naka-flatten siya, malamang si air bubble pwedeng mapunta dito, pwedeng mapunta doon sa kabilang side. So, you just need to ensure that the air bubble is nandito po, near the site of the plunger mismo. Kasi nga, ang purpose niya is to push the medication, ensuring that full dose is injected. So, hindi mo siya dapat tanggalin. Okay? Hindi dapat tanggalin. If you remove it, improper dosing ka. Okay? Kulang. Okay? So, anong tama, again, for this question is that I should avoid any bruised areas when choosing an injection site. Okay? So, this could increase discomfort po kasi, no, kapag may pasana, tapos in-injection mo pa, pwedeng magkaroon ng discomfort, and ang ayaw natin, interfere with medication absorption. Okay? So, what is enoxaparin again? Or your low molecular weight heparin. So, ito, low molecular weight heparin. It is an anticoagulant given as a subcutaneous injection. Injection anticoagulant for treatment or prophylaxis of DVT or deep vein thrombosis or pulmonary embolism. So, usually yung mga clients po na treated for this or having a prophylaxis for this are discharged home with this medication. So, tinuturuan sila paano ibigay yung gamot na ito. No? So, part of our education is not expelling the bubble, do not rub the site, yung mga yan. If not the client, the caregiver, significant other. Next, 19. The nurse instructs a client in taking liquid ferrous sulfate to consume the medication with which beverage to enhance absorption. So, we're asking for anong iinumin ni client to enhance the absorption. The correct answer for this one is the orange juice or letter C. So, vitamin C or ascorbic acid creates an acidic environment which significantly enhances absorption. So, lagyan natin smiley. Dami ko sinabi. Okay, so it creates an acidic environment that significantly enhances iron absorption. Milk, no po, because calcium actually interferes with the ferrous sulfate and decreases the iron absorption. Hot tea, so yung tea po kasi it contains what we call your tannins. It interferes also the iron absorption. Then soda, so carbonated beverages do not enhance absorption. And pwede pa nga ma-inhibit if it contain phosphates. So, ang best answer talaga, correct answer dito is letter C, the orange juice. Next, a client taking oral iron supplements reports that their stool has turned black. What is the nurse's best response? Very good, letter A. This is a harmless expected side effect of iron. So, unabsorbed iron. Absorbed iron causes stools to turn dark green or black. Okay lang po yun. Expected siya, kumbaga. Okay, stop the medication and go to the emergency room. No, that's an expected finding. This indicates you have internal bleeding. Okay, look. Yung mga GI bleeding, it could cause melena. Tama, no? Black, tarry, stools. But for this question, we are in the context. Tingnan natin, but we are in the context of iron therapy. So, black stool is usually the drug effect. So, again, expected. You should take the medication with food to stop this. Well, food helps with nausea, but it won't prevent the stool color change. Kasi bakit nga ulit nag-iiba yung kulay? Because of the unabsorbed iron. No? Nilalabas na lang ng katawan. Alright, so that's it. 20 items for cardiovascular drugs. Hopefully, some of the parts here, ayun. Yes, what he said. What the dog said. Yes. Okay, so, you see, you can maybe put, I don't know if you can put comments, but if possible, you may. You can add feedbacks. I have a lot to share, but more of memory aids. For those that are in-depth, you can use your sources naman or your books. Kasi if I spend time on that,